What's going on, guys? Welcome back to PRP. Today we are going to look at the Escalation Protocol SMG, and of course I'm talking about the Ikelos SMG. I was fortunate enough to get this here right before the reset tomorrow, so if you haven't gotten the SMG, you do have the rest of tonight and tomorrow morning to farm that level 7 boss on Mars right now. But nonetheless, I was able to get this weapon, so very happy and pleased about that. Let's take a look at the perks, the weapon, and give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. So, first of all, I love the looks of this weapon. Just like the Sleeper Simulant, just like the other EP weapons, it has that Warmind theme to it. And I really like the way it looks on this SMG. Small touches when it comes to the overall aesthetics are cool. Right now, I do have void damage on this weapon, so you can see the red dot sight is actually purple in color, which I like that touch. If you were to change it to solar or arc, it would change the red dot sight correspondingly. So small touch like that I think is pretty cool. The other cool thing is right now both of those purple bars there are filled up because my clip is filled up. If you shoot the weapon here and as you go down, you can see that those bars start turning red. Just a small touch like that I think makes this weapon unique from a aesthetic perspective. The other cool thing is if you look at the coils there where my left hand is, you can see them glow up here as you start shooting. Just a small thing like that really makes this weapon kind of stand out from other submachine guns. So looks wise, I really like the way it looks. I haven't quite picked out what shader I'm going to use. There's a number of them that kind of look pretty cool with it, but overall, definitely 2 thumbs up when it comes to the look and feel of this weapon. Let's take a look at the perks though. So the signature perk for this is Aggressive Frame. High damage, high recoil, but it also deals bonus damage at close range. And to be honest, for the recoil, yeah, sure. If you hold the trigger down, it's going to jump around just like any other submachine gun would. But if you're using controlled burst fire, it does stay on target pretty well. So even with that high recoil, as long as you're doing some controlled burst fire, you should have no issues with the overall stability of this weapon. Let's head back and look at the other perks. So first column, you have either corkscrew rifling, fluted barrel, or small bore. I went with small bore, but let's take a look from top to bottom. So with corkscrew rifling, it increases range and stability, and also bumps up your handling speed. And if you look there in the bottom right, you can see the handling speed going up a little bit, but I'm seeing a drop in range and stability, and that's because I have the small bore on right now. So if we just click this in, a solid all-around option here if you want to go with corkscrew rifling. Looking at fluted barrel, this is greatly increased handling speed, and it also just bumps up stability a little bit. So changes there in the bottom right. My range actually drops down because I no longer have that benefit from the other perks, but the handling jumps way up. So if you prefer having a snappy handling speed on your SMG, that's the way you want to go, is with fluted barrel. Let's keep going. Bottom one, small bore, increases range, increases stability. For me personally, the slight drop there in handling doesn't really bother me too much. I'd rather have that extra stability, and even though this is a close quarters combat weapon, a little extra range doesn't always hurt. So that's what I personally go with here in the first column. Second and third, no options there. Second one is Disruption Break. This is somewhat similar to Borealis. If you break an enemy shield with this weapon, it makes them more vulnerable to kinetic damage, kinetic precision damage for a brief period of time. A neat perk, but I don't know how often this will be coming into play, to be honest. I would have liked for something a bit more normal in that perk slot. You know, something like increased damage after killing enemies. I think that would have been better. But nonetheless, that's the second perk. Third one, Seraph rounds. These rounds overpenetrate targets and they bounce off hard surfaces. So this is very much like Hard Light, for instance, has that unique attribute to it. So when you're in close quarters, you're surrounded by waves of enemies. Just keep firing, because these things are going to bounce. They're going to rip through targets. They're going to hit the person behind it. I like that for this weapon. Last but not least, we have the fourth column, and you can either pick Grave Robber or Threat Detector. Grave Robber, it will reload a portion of the magazine after a melee kill. This is useful, especially with this weapon here. Any submachine gun, you're going to be tearing through ammo, so Grave Robber would be useful, obviously more so in PvE than PvP. But for me, I'd rather go with Threat Detector. When you're in close proximity, you're going to get a boost to your reload speed, your stability, your handling, whenever you're around enemies. So with a submachine gun, because it is very close quarters, you're going to be activating this pretty frequently here. So that little bit extra stability, I think, could come in handy. Reload speed is good, and the handling is good, but mainly for me, it's for that increased stability. So those are the perks that I have selected here. We also looked at all the other perks for the masterwork. I only ran this once. I don't have any masterwork cores right now. I got to save some up. But for me, it bumped up the range. Me personally, I'd rather have one that bumped up the stability. That's what I think you should kind of go for. But extra range won't hurt for now. I'll probably re-roll this once I accumulate some more masterwork cores. Alright, but how does this weapon perform in PvE and PvP? Well, I think it has merit in both. I've used it in both. I think overall the weapon is serviceable in PvP and Crucible. I think it's pretty good there. You know, it's for me as a hand cannon player. It's hard for me to kind of put down Crimson or Better Devils or one of those more well-known weapons. But this is a weapon that's going to do you pretty well here in Crucible. A lot of these maps are close quarters maps, especially right now with Iron Banner. You have 6 vs 6 mode on maps designed for 4 vs 4, so you're going to have a lot of close quarter situations here. So this weapon will chew through people at close range. If you're an SMG user, if you like using weapons like Huckleberry and other weapons like that, yeah, this weapon will feel right at home for you. And as a matter of fact, I think the overall stability of it is a little bit better than Huckleberry. The only downside is smaller clip, and it doesn't have that automatically reloading as you hit the enemy. So you'll be reloading much more frequently with this weapon in Crucible and in PvE. For PvE, this is a weapon that I would use in strikes and patrols like I am right now. Would you want to use this in the raid? Personally, I wouldn't. I think you're better off using a scout rifle for your energy weapon slot. But by no means would I say this would be a bad weapon to use in PvE. I will say that it's probably the least desirable of the 3 Escalation Protocol weapons, and that's not to say that this is a bad weapon by any stretch. I think it's an overall really good weapon, but compared to the shotgun and the sniper rifle, I think this is probably in 3rd place. So that's my review. Thumbs up in Crucible, thumbs up in PvE, but there is still some better options here with the SMG. So let me know if you like this video. Let me know if you too were lucky to get this week. And most importantly, thanks for watching, and good luck next week trying to get the sniper rifle. Talk to y'all soon.